Hello and welcome to today's session. We've got a 50k Apex Trader funding challenge. We're currently $800 up after day one. Taking a new approach on the prop firm, evaluation, the way I look to pass at the moment. Basically looking to go a little bit harder than normal, go for that 1k per day, or basically maxing out that 33% or 30% rule. So basically don't want to earn more than $1,000 in any one trading day because of that even requirement to pass. So you can't make 3k in a day, you've got to split it up by at least 30% each session. We'll see how we go today, but basically hoping to end up around the $51,800 odd dollars. But we'll see how we go. What we'll be doing is using the pivot points over to the left-hand chart, which is basically just a CFD chart. I plot those lines each day based on the open, high, low, close from the previous day, previous trading day, I should say. So that's Friday. And then on the other side, over to the right, is the Tradovate platform. Now on the Tradovate platform, we have the depth of market over here. And often I'll just try and make sure I pull that over as much as I can because I don't need that taking up too much of the screen. Often when I open the charts, it kind of opens quite a bit. It takes up too much screen. So just want to move that over, giving myself a bit more viewing space on the order flow. So these two charts, they're a bit different to the old candlestick where same concept. You've got your bid and ask orders coming in either side for the FDAX, so the full futures contract of the DAX, and then also the mini DAX down below. So this just allows me to see both markets and see if there's any little anomalies between the two markets that might help paint a bit of a picture to allow me to just decide what might be going on in the actual market. You know, who's buying, who's selling, what the thought process might be, just based on the numbers that are coming through and trying to paint a picture basically of what's going to happen next. Now we've got about 10 minutes till the market opens. I'm going to basically just run through what I think of the pivot points initially, and then what I do when the market opens is then try and paint a picture as to what's going on. So it looks like the market's probably about to start buying up here, I would say, once we get to the S1. This could be it, but I think we may drop down a little bit further, but there's a lot of volume coming in already. As I mentioned, I don't trade before the market opens unless we're in a critical juncture and the market's really leading a certain way. So not going to trade for another probably 9 minutes or so. Wait for that open, wait for that additional volatility to take us in. What I'm looking at on the pivot points. So we're opening down below the close and the low of the previous day. Now what that tells me is the market's pulled lower than obviously Friday, and we've got pivot points just below forming some support areas that we might look out for when the market opens. What I'm hoping for is that this market will impulsively move down, tap one of these levels, do a bit of a volume profile like we've seen here, so really thin volume, and then a massive order on the bid or the ask. It doesn't matter too much. And from there, looking to target at least the previous day's low. Now the issue with today's trading is that these levels are quite close together. That doesn't mean to say that the market won't move against you quite a lot, but it's the targets are not really in line with the risk-reward ratio that I'd normally be chasing. So ideally we'd be going up to the previous day's close or even the pivot, but it's not as likely as I'd like. Unless we get down to sort of the S2, S3, or even this unfilled gap from 24th of June, I may not get into the market today. It's better to be patient and wait it out than to just jump blindly in hoping that the market will go in your direction. I'm going to sit and wait for the right opportunity and make sure there's enough reward in it for the risk that I'm taking on. There's every chance that the market could come right down to this S2 or even beyond. So I just need to be aware of that, but I am looking to potentially buy the market on rejections off these levels. In conjunction with the order flow, so the bid and ask volume that's coming through. So this is the order flow, and I guess the volume profile down here as well. So the market seems to be quite happy trading in this little area here, the 23,734, and a little bit higher at the 23,760 on the futures mini. So I'm going to use that to my advantage and basically look for a powerful spike in the opposite direction of the way I want to go. That'll hopefully take me in at a nice solid price, and then I'll be able to hopefully have a better risk reward ratio. If you're in there in the chat, I just want to make sure that the mic is working and you can hear me okay. Just let me know if you have any troubles there hearing me. And we've got 6 minutes till the open, 5.5 minutes. I'm just going to do a bit of an analysis of the multiple time frames. So this is just a 5 minute here. These are 5 minutes as well, which allows me to kind of zoom in and see exactly what's going on at the time. But let's take a look at the broader market. On the monthly, last month, so the last probably 3 months excluding September have been very ranging. So the market hasn't sort of broken out either long or short, and it kind of looks like we've hit a peak and we're slowly on a bit of a parabola coming down. If we break down below this close gap from 24th of June and we get through the yearly R2, which is a yearly level based on last year's data, then I would be expecting the market to potentially drop quite swiftly, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's another topic, but it looks bearish on the monthly, just over this last sort of 3-4 months. Nothing really indicative of what will happen today though. So we'll go down to the weekly. Weekly, nothing too much on the Bollinger Bands. We're kind of at the lows of this range that we've been seeing, but we're not right down at the previous day's close gap or these rejection points. So not really anything here on the weekly either. Look at the daily, it has been very bearish. Had a nice rejection last week to bring us up a bit higher. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere here where we could go up or down on the daily. Again, the Bollinger Bands aren't going to help us here today. Go to the H4. Look, if we start getting down towards this unfilled gap, then we'll be hitting the lower Bollinger Band, but that's going to be a very different scenario, and we'll assess that if the time comes, because there's quite a distance from now until it gets down to that price level. Plus, we'll be outside of the S3 if it happened today. So hopefully we don't end up reaching this level today. So again, nothing too much on the H4 or the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, we have breached the low on the Bollinger Band low. So we're below that level. We've also got the extreme gap here, or the previous day's low, which I will be targeting, but just remembering the risk reward has to be there. So we'll see how that pans out. But we are outside of that Bollinger Band. We've got 3 minutes till open. So I'll just be watching that reaction. I'm assuming it may hold, but I'm still hopeful that we may get a further push down to kind of wipe out any weak hands that are holding long positions but aren't confident about it. So I'm just going to wait, watch the order flow. If I do see a lot of buying coming in quite quickly, I may choose to get in straight away, but I am hopeful we'll get a pull away from our target just to kick off the day. 30-minute, same deal. So we're outside the low and Bollinger Band. We are kind of rejecting off this S1. We've got 2 minutes till the open, so we'll go to the 15 minutes. Same deal again below the Bollinger Band. and we've kind of got a bit of a green wick, and then we're powering up here a little bit. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think if we do come up and hit this low at the open, it'll be very swift. There may not be time to actually get in and place an order in order to actually make a profit. So I've just got to be quite conscious of that. Going to put this quantity, one thing with Tradovate, it remembers your last quantity, which I had 2 contracts. I'm going to change that to 1 because I'm trading the full DAX contract. I just want to be trading 1 contract. We're on a 50k account. Max trailing drawdown at the moment is 2,494. So I just need to be mindful of that. Each movement is €25 from point to point. So I don't want to be getting in at 2 contracts, particularly at the open. I want to just maintain a bit of buffer and be able to get in and out. If I see the market turning against me, I need to be able to exit without too much heat, and just making sure that quantity is set to the correct one. So for me today, that's 1 unit. That's very important. So I'll just be watching the open very carefully, looking for that opportunity to hit the buy at market, I would say, because I think it's going to move fast. But obviously being aware that if we do push down, it's going to create a better opportunity, better risk reward, and I don't want to be holding if it just continues on a downward slope. Just need to be patient and mindful of what's going on. So we're pretty much open. Okay, so I'm in there. Looks like hopefully the buyers are going to hold this position, but we may kind of pull back a little bit further. They're taking a little bit longer to kind of build up than I would have expected, but we're not pulling away as quickly as we probably should either. So I'm just going to just wait this out at the moment, see if we can break above this level, and we should get a nice solid push up. Otherwise we may be going down to, say, the S2. So just need to be wary of that potential move against us. This previous day's low, or the extreme gap, forms a really high probability target, but it may come a little bit later during the day if traders decide to push the market lower first. It's really hovering at the moment. I'm tempted to just close it out, but at the same time I don't want to miss out on the big impulsive move long that may occur. I did see a couple of gaps in the volume up here, meaning that there's quite thin pricing up ahead. If we do kind of break long, there may not be too much in its way. I think I'm just going to close out for now. We made $50, but well, that's €50. Convert that to USD. I'd love to see a bit more of a pullback, but I'm expecting this market to kind of take off. It's just not quite doing it just yet. So I'm waiting. That's probably the reaction that I'm looking for. If we get a little bit of a pullback, I'll probably jump back in. Otherwise, that may be it for the day. It's not quite doing what I'm hoping it will do. Okay, I'm back in. Had a slight pullback, but the spread was massive. So not the best situation there, but I think hopefully we will rise above it. It's kind of moving in that right direction now. Okay, that's may have missed the spike. I think hopefully we'll come back up again for another go. I'm hoping that's not the complete move. Again, I don't think we've filled that gap, so we're still probably 10 points away from that extreme gap. I might just set a limit order up here at the $200, just in case we do kind of pop up and it can take me out for that 200. So we'll just wait and see if we can get a little bit more of a push up. It's very close. There we go. So that's 200. So we're up €250 at the moment. And we'll just see what the reaction is here at this previous day's low, or the extreme gap. Just to see if we kind of get a bit of a like a fade of the gap, so it'll come back down. We'll have another opportunity hopefully to get in long and perhaps focus the close gap as well. So I'm just waiting to see. We haven't even filled that extreme gap, so I'm glad I got out. I don't want to be waiting in this kind of wishy-washy kind of activity here. The market's not super decisive at the moment, and I don't want to be waiting around and just hoping, particularly when I'm trading the full contract, which is $25 a point, or euro I should say. So I just want to make sure I kind of take it slow and steady, wait for the right opportunities, and then have a go. So just waiting for the market. There wasn't really anything on the order flow to tell me that we were going long. It was purely the fact that often at the market open, there's a lot of buying coming in to target the extreme gap, particularly when it's that close. So I was on a bit of a hunch, and that's why I didn't want to stay in it for too long. I'm quite happy with taking that €250 out of this market for the moment. This looks like it's still quite even. We've got 9 contracts on this side. We've got 11. That looks like aggressive buying. So if we come down a little bit further, it may be a good opportunity to get back in. However, I'm not particularly seeing a strong reason to make that decision just at the moment. So we're already up for the day, $250. We've got probably another $700 or $600 to try and make for this trading session, and we'll still be on track for that 30% per day to target. So I'm just waiting now, using my patience to let the market figure out what it wants to do, and then give me a signal or a reason to say, okay, this is it. Because right now, that activity at the top of this order flow could potentially be limit orders, and then followed by aggressive selling on the bid side. So I don't want to necessarily get in front of this downward movement unless there's a reason to say, okay, we're going long now. I haven't quite seen that just yet. So just waiting. And we can see that it's kind of hovering around. I'm waiting for a nice big push and then an indication. So we're kind of seeing it, but we're not quite there. I'd be tempted to get in long here just on the basis of the CFD charts, because it looks like it's going to go up to me. It's going to hold off this level, probably target at least the close gap. Get a bit of a Fibonacci retracement somewhere up, even just to this mid Bollinger Band line. But I'm not seeing that in the order flow. This mini though, got 20 contracts here. That could be potentially, that's a limit buy, but at the same time it could be aggressive selling. So I don't want to get in front of that just yet. Need a bit more evidence to suggest that we're going to go long. I think that kind of seeing the activity I want to see. I'm going to hit it there. We'll see if we turn around here. Seems to be coming down now. So if we don't get a reaction off this level, that could have been aggressive selling, and I'll probably just try and jump out if I see the opportunity. But at the same time, I do hope that we come up and target this close gap up here at least, or even just the extreme gap. We've got 2,000 odd trailing max drawdown. Just need to be wary of that. The market's not giving me much indication either way. Just hoping that there is more of a bias to the long side, which there often is. We've got, what's that, 16 contracts there. I doubt that's a limit sell. It's more likely to be aggressive buying. We'll see if that holds up. But if we do start to see a lot of bid orders coming through quite quickly, that could mean aggressive selling coming in. So we just need to be wary of that side. If there's a lot of sellers coming in, I'll need to be able to act quickly. It's really just kind of hovering around this level, soaking up orders. I'll need to be able to hit the button here shortly if this level kind of doesn't really hold. Looks like buying, hopefully. Kind of building up, but we're just underneath the S1 right now. So I'd like to see a bit more explosive movement long to feel a bit safer about this move. And so 250, kind of don't want to go too high if it does go in my favor. So I need to also be quick on that side because I don't want to make more than $1,000. What's the FROD, Deepak? Thanks for joining. I haven't heard of that one. It's really kind of soaking up the orders, not getting the motion that we were hoping for. It's very even buy and sell, but probably a little bit more ask side activity, which is positive, but it may not be able to hold here. We've got 8 contracts there. Hopefully that's somebody buying and holding this level. If we poke down a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get a rejection off this breakout short level. Not really seeing too much response at this level either. I've got a bit of activity lower. There we go, that's a bit more activity. That's what I want to see, but perhaps a bit more powerful, bigger contracts. Not overly convinced this is going to hold, so I just need to be ready to just hit the button. And what have we got? 1400. Just waiting it out. Okay, that's 44 contracts. That could have been quite a large stop there on the bid side, so that could have been a buyer limit for 47 contracts, just below all of these levels here. And I'm hoping that's enough to start to see some ask side activity come in and aggressively buy this market. On the flip side, that could be aggressive selling all of a sudden. I'm not sure why that would happen at this level though. I would suggest that it is more likely to be a limit order to push the market back higher. And there's the ask side activity. We need a lot more, so we've got 19 contracts here. We need a lot more to follow that up and give us the boost that we need to hold this level. So 57 contracts at this level here. We need some aggressive buyers to say, okay, this is it. Not seeing that just yet. So just holding, remaining patient. And hoping that we do see this extreme gap get filled today. A lot of activity down here as well, but it's kind of holding. Hasn't fallen completely just yet. Here it is. Need a lot more buyers to come in to actually change the direction of this market now. I'll just have a look at the UK market as well, just to see what's going on there. Looks like we came up, hit the pivot, and retraced back down to the low. Nothing too much telling me on the UK, so I'll just get back to the DAX. The next level is the S2 before we start to see any sort of interaction here. It feels like the buyers are starting to get involved, but they're not convinced just yet. So we need a big player to kind of say, right, this is the bottom, and then take the market back in the correct direction. But it's almost like the sellers are moving the market a lot more than the buyers for each contract. It's like the sellers are kind of soaking up every buyer and then using that to then push the market down. See if this level holds now. Basically the last line of defense here at the S2. If we don't turn around here, then that's probably it for this account, because from there we'll be heading all the way down to this S3. The buyers don't seem to be having that traction that I was expecting to at least get up to this previous day's low. Seems very even on the bid and ask side. So there's no real indication just yet that we'll be going long. It's like the buyers are trying to take hold, but then every time they buy, it's hit by a bid side order or likely to be aggressive selling. So it might take a serious boost to shake that that downward viewpoint. It's much more powerful on the sell side at the moment, so that might be it very soon, I would say, unless something changes drastically in the next sort of couple of minutes. It's not looking good. And that's it. Okay, so we've broken that level. Still very thin volume profile there. Some buyers coming in, followed by aggressive selling straight after. So it's like the sellers have quite a bit of control here. The volume still seems to show the sellers have control. There's buyers coming in, but it's not moving the market as much as it probably should, meaning that basically the sellers have that control, they're not letting up. So we've got a new candle here on the 5 minute. This is a bit more like it. Okay, it's starting to come up, which is nice. Unfortunately, that came all the way down. We had about one more point, but basically it closed me at that point. So I had one more point thereabouts. I would have still been in this position. So we'll see if the market actually goes all the way up to this target as I expected, or if this is just a little retracement. But all in all, if that was the lowest point, then we were 1 point away from basically being exactly where we needed to be. So that's one thing with Apex, is they're very tight drawdown requirements, particularly when trading the full FDAX. Sometimes your futures and your gold and your oil have smaller contract sizes, so you can have a bit more runway when it comes to drawdowns. This looks to be like aggressive selling coming in at this price. It doesn't look like it's a buy limit by any means. So we'll see what plays out there, but it looks like selling coming in. So we've had a bit of a retrace, potentially soaking up some more buyers, tricking the market, with that new candle to think, okay, the market's coming back now. And then potentially it's going to go back the other way all the way. So we'll see if that plays out or not. Coming all the way back. So now if we can have a really good indication from this point that the market's going to turn around from the order flow, that could be quite good. But at this point, it doesn't particularly look like the buyers are in control at all. Good morning, Trek Lord. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, didn't quite get what I was hoping for here. So had a good start. We were up about $250 or euro, I should say, and then basically closed out, got back in thinking it would turn back around, go up to that low, but basically we just pulled right away, all the way down to the S2. We'll see if this holds or not, but this account's been stopped out. It looks to me like the sellers have control at the moment. This 18 contract looks good, but I don't know if it's enough to hold these aggressive sellers that just keep pushing the market down. Basically, whenever there's a buyer come in, a seller comes in on the other side and kind of holds it there. So it's going to take a really aggressive push to break all of this structure. People basically holding the market lower. There is a chance that we may go all the way down to the S3 if we don't see a lot more buying come in. So I'll be watching out. Yeah, and in the pre-market I did mention that we could be going all the way down to even the S3 or this unfilled gap all the way down here. It's a long way away for today, but who knows, if we get enough selling, we could go all the way down. But I think at some point there will be a good buying opportunity. It's just not there yet. How are you going on the NQ today? So it looks like the market's kind of just absorbing this whole interaction. We'll see if this candle can break it. A bit more buying, but again, probably not powerful enough to shake this selling. See, followed by aggressive selling coming straight back in. Now this does happen from time to time where the market kind of gives you a bit of false hope. It looks like it's going to turn around. Bit of action there, but again, aggressive selling kind of look alike. It's not quite the activity that I'm expecting when there's an extreme gap on the table. Bit more order flow coming through all of a sudden. Looks like aggressive selling. So somebody wants this market to go lower for the moment. Just watching this order flow, it's quite unusual. Got 15, 16 contracts there. This might be some more buyers coming in a little bit more strongly, but we've still got 28 here, followed by another 15 on this side, on the bid side. I'm not quite convinced that this is powerful buying enough to move the market greatly, but I could be wrong. It just seems to be too much bid side activity for the market to break these, to react to this level properly. So it could be a bit of a waiting game, this trading session. Yeah, the New York session is there's so much more happening. Market moves a lot quicker. Probably need to be a lot less patient as well, I'm sure. And the DAX, yeah, it does often respond to levels quite well at that time. There's a lot of order flow coming around this level. I'll just zoom in. 33 contracts here. Still a bit of selling. It looks like the sellers are stronger still. If we break below this candle, I think we're maybe in for a bit of a wild ride south. Just looking for the point where the buyers actually come in and say, right, this is time. We're going to take this long. They're not quite there yet. It seems though the sellers are now getting soaked up a little bit more by the buyers, and they're not having as much power when they place an order. It's not pushing the market as low. So I'm just waiting to see if more orders start coming on this ask side a little bit quicker, a bit more impulsive, to then indicate, okay, this is the time when we can go long. But for the moment, it's just more sell side activity. And this level may not hold. It might just be a bit of a false shelf there. So we'll see if we break this candle. Or if we get some really aggressive buying on the ask side. That's when I'll be looking to get in. If we break below here and we get some really thin volume, we may be heading down a lot further, sort of towards the S3. But I'm watching just to see if I can get long around this level. We've got a new 5-minute candle. We've kind of been getting faked out with these wicks a little bit. Very thin volume. It doesn't look that powerful to me. They're kind of battling it out, and then the bid side comes back in over the top. Seems to be holding back this movement up long. So it's kind of basically just absorbing all of the buy side orders, or the ask side orders. They're fighting it out a little, but we haven't broken that level yet. So it still seems the market just still seems to want to push down. It can't hover here forever though. So unless the sellers are able to push below this structure, then I think at some point we're going to get some buyers say, right, this is it. We're going to overpower the sellers and take the market long. Or the sellers have to overcome this level and push it down lower. Still quite thin. It's very even here. So I'm not sure this is the buy indication that I've been looking for. I think when it happens, it will be quite swift, but at the moment, there's not really much going on. They're just sort of fighting it out. It's almost like it's kind of drifting up. There's not too many sellers in the way now, and it's very thin, but I'm not sure. It just doesn't seem like it's going to hold unless there's a lot more ask orders come in and the market sees that. So we've got 8, but then it's followed by 6 on this side. Basically come back all the way, but it's still very thin. I'm not sure what to make of this activity here. And then it moves south a lot quicker. So it's a much more, I guess, bearish outlook in the way the market's moving. It kind of drifts up a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, the sellers soak it all up. Making it very hard for the people to go long. we're about 30 minutes into the trading session. I'm not too convinced either way. Obviously, I'd like to see this S2 hold and reject all the way back up to even say the close gap, but based on the volume or the order flow coming through, it just isn't convincing enough to say the buyers have control just yet. It's still very evenly weighted on the bid and the ask side. Some buying coming in here, but it's probably not enough. We've still got more orders on the bid side indicating aggressive selling. It's unlikely that's limit orders to the buy side. So, it looks like the market's kind of said, okay, we'll soak up a heap of buyers, fake it out a little bit, and then let the market kind of fall. It's quite a big wick though. If we come all the way down the S3, that's when I'll be looking again for more opportunities. But something really needs to shift in this order flow for me to say that the buyers have control. Anyway, guys, I might leave it at that. Took a more aggressive approach to trying to pass. Made $250 early in the session, or euro, and then basically the market just fell apart all the way down to the S2, and a little bit beyond. Unfortunately, the trailing drawdown maximum was reached, and we only had a few more points before we sort of saw that pull back a little bit higher, but I'm not sure that we're going to get all the way up unless the ask side orders start flowing through quite aggressively. I'll continue watching, but at this point, something really needs to shift. Otherwise, these sellers are basically holding the market lower, but not pushing it down. So it's a little bit frustrating. It kind of takes the time. You've got to be patient for this kind of activity to play out, and then obviously watch for an indication that the market's going to shift. So that's probably the first 40 minutes of the session. Just waiting for an indication to go long. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the session. Give me a like if you did, and we'll come back tomorrow and see if we can get some analysis on the way. Thank you. Talk soon.